Hey, what's up everybody? I'm back with another video and I want to thank you all for continuing to join me on these videos. I appreciate you listening in and sharing your comments. It's been fun, as usual. Now, as you may have heard, the latest rumor is that the Nintendo NX could use cartridges or game cards for their next system, with the latest information from the investors meeting from the Macronix company, expecting to shift more of their ROM-based media during that time frame of March 2017 when the NX is released. And the rumor is that they are working on like 32 gigabyte game media cards. That's the rumor. But it's unconfirmed, of course, if they are going to be using this for, game storage or what have you for the NX console. That's just the rumor right now. They've been researching that tech for 32 gigabytes of storage. So my thoughts on this is that it's a pretty good idea that the NX would actually ditch disc media for the console. Granted, people may be upset that it would take away the backwards compatibility with the Wii U by doing that, since there'd be no reason, basically, because you wouldn't have any disk drive to put the games in for your media for the Wii U. So that's one thing to consider, but I think the benefits far outweigh the negatives for having a cartridge-based console like the NX, because what do you have right now? You have these consoles like the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. They require you to install the disc onto the hard drive of the console. So say you have your 500 gigabyte hard drive on your console, or 1 terabyte with the Xbox One, and you buy a game like Battlefield 4 or whatever, and you put it in. Guess what happens? You can't play the game immediately. It does require you to install it onto the hard drive, because the hard drive will stream textures and the media from the game faster than the disk drive would. Case in point would be Xenoblade Chronicles X. If you buy the disc-based version of that game, it gives you the option to play the game directly from the disc, or to download these texture packs from the eShop for free, of course, but because it allows you to stream the game world a lot faster, because most of these next-gen games, like on PS4 and Xbox One, they are a lot based on open-world experiences. So having the game downloaded to the hard drive makes streaming these textures way faster, because the hard drives are a lot faster in doing this data streaming than a disk drive is. So now think about this. If the NX has a cartridge or card slot media base for their games, what's going to happen is that you buy the game card, you put it into the NX, you turn it on, and you select the game and you play it. There won't be any downloading or installing onto the hard drive, because the game media is all right there on the game card. And no doubt as you know, loading from a game card or cartridge is extremely fast, because the media is all right there for the console to just take right off of it. There's no installing needed, none of that stuff. So that would be an amazing right there, just to get back to having the game work right out of the gate when you put it into the system, right? Back on the Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64, you put the game in, and even the GameCube for that matter, but you put the game into the console, you clicked on that power button, and you saw the logo screen. There was no loading, there was no nothing. There was no menu to go to, no looking for the game menu in the operating system to try to find it. Bam, it worked. Now, I do like how the Wii U does it, where they have that quick start menu where you can just start the game up immediately. And also the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, they do have a resume suspend option for their games. However, it does, having it on a cartridge does eliminate that initial step of having to install the game. Sometimes you've seen YouTube videos of people timing it, and I think people have gone almost 20 minutes just installing the game and then downloading the patch and then going on and on and on until finally they can get to that menu screen and press start to start playing that game. And that's something that has to end. And I think having card-based media for the NX would definitely help that. But that's not the only reason, of course. Now, during the game when you're playing it with these open-world games, you wouldn't be having the problems. I'm just saying, hypothetically, you wouldn't be having these problems where the textures will pop in on the character. Like, especially, for example, in an Unreal Engine 3 game, like Batman Arkham City and some of these other Unreal games that run that engine, they've always had a problem with streaming textures. Even, I'm not even talking about open world games, just like textures in general. You would go into a room, and the floor and the ceiling and walls would be blank or flat, and you'd be like, whoa, what happened to the detail? And all of a sudden, pop! The detail gets popped in because it finally loaded off the hard drive. With a game card, theoretically, it could already be there when you open up that door to that next room, and you wouldn't have that discombobulating experience where the game world succumbs to the hardware of loading or streaming these textures in. They should already be there because all the data is right there on that game card, just right there for the taking. Game disk, hard drive, they have to, read it from there and take it from there, and sometimes the loading is a little bit slower. Granted, hard drive's a lot faster than a disk, but the game card would be even faster. So you take that into consideration, and your game experience would be a lot smoother. Now, another thing that I was thinking of that it could be a benefit would be borrowing games, with your friends. You could easily take your game card with you and play the game at your friend's house. Now, granted, you could do the same thing with a disc, but say your friend didn't have that game, they would still have to install that game onto that hard drive if you're talking about PS4 or Xbox One. And it becomes a laggy experience, obviously. Now, one thought that I had is that wouldn't it be interesting if Nintendo released some kind of a blank game card that you could buy from the store that was, empty, and, maybe for $10 or whatever like that, and you have these blank game cards. Say you didn't want to have the cartridge version of whatever Mario Kart 9, whatever game it's going to be, and you download it directly to your NX console. It would be cool if you could, copy and paste that game to a blank game card, take it to your buddy's house, and then play it on their NX console without having to re-download the game. Therefore, you could actually let someone borrow that game. Well, actually, you can't really do that right now on the Wii U. You can't let somebody borrow your downloaded game, can you? So that would actually be something new that you could do with a game card. Even if you'd only downloaded the game, you could use a blank game card and put it onto that game card, take it to your buddy's house, let them borrow it. However, I don't know how that would work. Maybe Nintendo would have some kind of restriction to that as far as if you stream or download that game to that game card, maybe it disables it on your console until you get it back. Because otherwise, you'd be divvying out those game cards to everybody for free. Everybody gets their own game. I don't know. That's just a thought. But I think game cards are a great idea, or cartridges, and they're also really cool to collect. It also makes the NX something unique compared to the other systems too. Disc format is slow. I mean, it really is. That's why all the discs on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One require them to be installed onto the hard drive. So they're not actually running the game off the disc. They're just using the disc to know that you have the game and it's ready to play. The disc is like a verification process. So the game itself is still being downloaded either way to the hard drive, whether you have the disc or not. A cartridge is a little bit different. Now, also, it'd be really cool if the cartridge or game card that the NX would theoretically have would be rewritable. Then you could download updates to that game card and even add more things to it and patch it through the game card instead of having to patch it only through the hard drive. That'd be another option. Now, so that rumor was 32 gigabytes. So that would be maybe a little bit limiting for a next generation console. I'm thinking 64 gigabytes would be what they want to go for if they were to do that. So it remains to be seen. We'll see what they do, but the rumor right now is that the cartridges or game cards will be coming to the NX in the not too distant future when it is released. So I think it's good news, and if they still have a disk drive, that's fine too. I do think it would eliminate costs as well of not having a disk drive built into the console. I was talking to some guys asking that question about how much it would cost, and I believe they said about $20 of savings is what it would come out to for Nintendo to save through every console sold by not having that disk drive in there. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But again, thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button and let me know what you guys think. Subscribe and comment, and I'll talk to you guys very soon in the next video. Take care.